wait. That was another thing about Perry. He was always kind of being like, oh, if only I had a wife and I had kids and I could commit. One time he was like hungover or something, and he didn't want to answer the door. And he was like, oh, if I had a wife and kids here, they could answer the door. And I was like, are you insane? Like, you wouldn't be able to do this to yourself if you had kids. Well, I mean, you're rich, so you could. You just have someone else take care of them for you. But like, I mean, yeah, your kids can answer the door for you, but mostly you're answering the door for your kids. Mostly you're of service, right? And I don't think the guy. I don't want to like trash talk the guy like he's just some horrible person. I mean, he talked about how, one of his greatest joys in life was helping other people with alcoholism and addiction. But the thing is, if you have deep ingrained in your brain that you're powerless, that you can't change, really, what I've been like trying to the kind of crux of it, I've been putting off making this video, because my life doesn't allow me to really sit down and think and contemplate for very long, very often. But also, I'm just trying to think about what angle, what's kind of the crux of my argument, so to speak. And the whole thing, it's like humans are scared, right? We're uncertain. We want to know what's going on. We don't like feeling anxious about who we are, what's happening in the world. And especially now, we're not built for this influx of information. Like, I think about this when I go to museums. When you go to a museum, you see so much art, you see so many like pictures that in the past times, in the Middle Ages, like almost nobody's going to see, unless you're super rich. And even if you're super rich, you're never going to see so much beauty and art in one place at one time, unless you're literally a king or a queen or living in a castle. The peasants, they might see some stained glass at their church, although I don't imagine most churches are even going to have that sort of thing. But nowadays, you go on Instagram, you scroll, you see so many images, so much emotion, all this stuff meant to grab at you and manipulate you. You can see more in 30 seconds, more graven images, so to speak, than your average peasant would see in their whole lifetime. And yeah, I mean, what it does to your brain is, currently underway and being studied. So people are insecure, right? And I mean, if you could describe Matthew Perry in one word, whether you love him or hate him, or think it's like the most inspiring book, or like kind of a boring book, but still thought-provoking, I mean, you describe him as insecure. And he's kind of like the ultimate modern man in that way. Like, the modern man is insecure. And so what do insecure people do? They want certainty. And I'll just call this like the nounification of things. Like, you want to make things into a noun, right? Like this is a shoe. It's solid. Like, I know what it is. So I'm an addict. I have a disease. That's solid, right? That's something you can like touch. It's not, and it kind of takes you off the hook a bit, in that like, it's not going to change, like, because if you're like, I just need to get stronger, I just need to get better. I mean, in a way, it's a natural defense against our self-help worlds, like, that you can optimize, that you can fix everything. It's like, no, I can't fix this. It's an addiction. Yeah, there's one more point I want to get to later about, just because like what you think of the opposite of what you think is wrong, that doesn't mean you're right. But I'll get back to that in a few minutes. So, like, the idea that you don't have your free will over an addiction, maybe that's true, but it's only as true for you as it is for everyone else. And you still kind of have to act as if you have power, because knowing that you don't have power can give you power, right? It can give you power to change. But if that belief is like deep, that I'll never not be an addict, it just makes you endlessly manipulatable. I mean, AA, you could say, is mass manipulation. Now, it could help people. It's kind of like the same way religion. I mean, AA is religion. God is like the second step. You have to believe in God. You have to give away your power to someone better than you. And it's just a dangerous thing. Like, I don't have full control. Maybe that's a good first step. But I have to give my control away to something that I don't understand. Um, Again, giving charity to it, I can see like there's kind of some truth there, right? But the problem lies when he separates himself from other people. Like you can feel a lot of envy in the book. Like he talks about Keanu Reeves twice. He's kind of idealizing River Phoenix, who, if you don't know, American movie stars in the '90s, which I don't even really know very well. Like I wouldn't be able to look at a picture of River Phoenix necessarily know who he is, but he's like a famous actor who I believe also died of a drug overdose or was certainly a drug addict, and Chris Farley. And he kind of like romanticizes and idealizes these people. And in contrast, he's like, what kind of world where these guys die and Keanu Reeves is like still walking the earth? He says this twice. And I'm like, bro, what is your deal with Keanu Reeves? Now, I'm not going to try to like talk about Keanu Reeves like I know the dude. Like these are celebrities. I don't know who they are. But I mean, supposedly he's well known for being a nice guy. And I think the archetype of kind of like a calm, cool, rational guy who can live his life really made Perry envious. And but to counteract his envy, he created a story like, oh, if you're kind of this wild, crazy guy who can't get his shit together, you're more real, you're more genuine, you like deserve life more or something. It's really twisted. Um, and yeah, he made his addiction. If you wonder what I'm doing with my hand off screen, he he made his addiction into a noun. He made it into a thing that separated him from other people. And other people have control. I don't have control. And this is a dangerous thing. Um, it's just a dangerous way to be. Like life is not in control. You're not in control. The cat is not in control. The trees are not in control. Everyone in power, presidents and prime ministers who are desperately trying to be in control, are certainly have a lot more control than you. But ultimately, they can't control themselves. They can't control their brain chemistry. Um, but what we can do is we can realize this and we can try to make influences. We can try just like dedication every day. I'm going to do what I can to feel better. Like I'm dealing with chronic pain right now. I'm going to read a lot of books about chronic pain. And if I'm going to try to get to the source, I'm going to try to read books that are as like scientifically valid as possible. And I'm going to examine them. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to notice about myself what when I do makes it worse, what makes it better. Um, and that's just it. Like this is all you can do as a person. You do your best. You don't let anybody tell you that you're broken or you're irredeemable. You just like you don't allow anybody to say that to you. And it's just a weird time to be alive and to struggle and suffer and deal with your own emotions, because there's an industry that will tell you who you are for you. It will tell you who you are. It'll put you in a category, and being in a category, it's like nounification, right? Being a verb means you're literally moving. You're never stopping. Just when you think you understand, you don't understand. So there's always something new. You're evolving, you're changing. But this is the reality of life. Like the Buddha knew this, 2,000 odd years ago. Like everything is impermanent, everything is changing. You can nail something down, but the nail will rust and the floor will break and things will fall apart. And you just have to roll with that, and you have to accept it, and you have to like learn how to be a human being, on this moving ship of life, and find enough solidity to like be able to get stuff done. And yes, I felt myself losing my original thought as I was speaking. Yeah, I need like like an emotional support. I mean, I can see why people are all up on AI, right? Because if I had an AI that was listening to me and then, say it was connected to my brain, and I could like, if I had a thought that was slipping away, I don't know what I could do, but that's a whole nother can of worms. It's a bit scary. And don't put chips in your brains, kids. Let other people do it first. See if it's safe, and do it in 70 years if you're still alive. Anyways, yeah, you feel bad for the guy. You feel bad for the guy, but right, I remember what I was going to say. So when I was 13, I got sent away to all boys boarding school, blah, blah, blah. Like, personal experience. Like, I didn't have a great time, to say the least. And I became depressed. I didn't know what depression was, but I became depressed. And I went to a doctor, and the doctor's like, yo, you're depressed. And he's like, these are the symptoms of depression. And I was kind of impressed by like how well I matched up to the symptoms, right? I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to socialize. I was like afraid of other people. Um, my motivation dropped. My appetite dropped. I even got dry mouth. Like I drink all the time now. It's like a trend. In 2026, everyone's walking around with a water bottle. When I was a kid, I never drank. I like didn't drink water. I started, maybe the depression like helped my health in the long because I got dry mouth. I got all these symptoms. So it's like, oh wow, like people understand this. Maybe that means people can help me. I'm not like one isolated human being, suffering in a void. I'm like part of a collective. And so they're like, here, have some drugs. And then I was on that treadmill for 10 years. Well, really, I'd been on that treadmill since I was 7 years old with like Ritalin and yeah. And again, I don't want to, my parents, the doctor, society, maybe they're doing the best they can. Being alive is scary. Suffering is scary. You want suffering to stop ASAP. So if you can like smooth it out with a drug, and make your kid fit in better, make your kid more adapted to their environment, with as little friction as possible. But the thing is, like, it doesn't work. I mean, Perry was like addicted to drugs, but he also thought drugs were the answer. I mean, he died because of ketamine therapy, right? He was having ketamine therapy. And he was like, I should be able to live sober. I shouldn't want to get high. I should be high off life. It's like people want to feel good. And human beings have been taking drugs like since before we were human beings. I mean, friggin' elephants and monkeys will have fermented grapes and have psychedelic plants. Like it's kind of like sweetness, right? Like I can never eat sugar. I can never eat sugar. Sugar's the devil. It's like there's a reason you like it because fruit like gives you energy, right? Like yeah, I mean, it's always, I'm sure, been hard to be human being, to be any kind of animal, because you're fighting to stay alive, and nature. I hope I'm wrong. Convince me I'm wrong, but it seems to me that nature's indifferent, right? Nature's indifferent, and nature's indifferent, and you're stuck in yourself, right? Like altruism's cool. You want to help other people, but if you're dead, you're not helping anybody. So you really do have to take care of your own needs first. And the people who laid down their life a little bit too easily, they're not our ancestors because they laid down their life a little bit too easily. And that was that. But yeah, it's pathological. It's weird because we idealize that, like Jesus Christ. We idealize him for giving himself up. We idealize people giving themselves up for us, for society at large. But nobody wants to be the one, like everyone loves to talk about military. I mean, this is on my mind right now because of the Iran war. But I'm like, who would join the military right now? It's just like you're giving yourself up for people who would never ever put their own children in harm's way. I think to defend your family, to defend your loved ones, to defend your country against invaders is a very noble thing. But everyone gives this their lip service, but nobody actually wants to be the one. And why would they when, you know, in a world of today where most of these wars have nothing to do with the protection of people. In fact, they make people less safe because of, yeah, when you have a war, you're giving all these warmongers more money, more, you're buying equipment and, you know, yeah, I do. And I think Jehovah's Witnesses are really, really loopy. They're good people, like on an individual level, but ooh, but one thing I do give props to them. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, you're not allowed to work in weapons manufacturing. or, weapon selling, any of that stuff, as far as I know. So anyway, in conclusion, um, yeah, don't believe, don't settle for a bullshit explanation of who you are and your motivations and your limitations. Might feel comforting. It might feel scientific even. Oh yeah, that was the thing I was going to mention. So he was in this debate, some televised debate, I think on Piers Morgan or something, and his opponent was the brother of Christopher Hitchens, who became very, anyway, the argument he was arguing against is this moralizing about addiction, like, oh, addicts are lazy, addicts are weak. And he was, bristling at this because he was trying to help addicts. He's trying to decriminalize, drug use, so addicts can get more help and they don't have to deal with people calling them criminals and locking them away. Because I don't think I need to make the argument that being in prison is probably not the best way to get your mental health back for most people. But because the other guy's wrong doesn't make you right. Like, addiction is not just a matter of, like, being stronger. I mean, there's definitely a biochemical basis that's, like, very, very obvious. Sadly, after everything, the colonizers put the American Indians through, Native Americans, whatever you want to call them, whatever they want to be called, like, they also had more of a susceptibility to alcohol because they didn't have that in their culture. And I don't think I have much susceptibility to alcohol. I drank a lot in my early 20s, but then I stopped, and now I find alcohol and being drunk repellent. Just the idea of it has, like, zero appeal to me. So yeah, be wary of, like, taking a little bit of truth and making it into the whole truth, and be wary of, just because someone else is wrong, it means you're right. It's like, you see this a lot in kind of the natural hippie wellness world. Like, is big pharma corrupt? Is the medical industry, like, totally and utterly corrupt? Like, I mean, obviously, but does that mean your natural cure of choice, or your quack doctor of choice, or your, like, raw vegan or carnivore or whatever, like, and I speak to this from experience as someone who's, like, deep down, various rabbit holes of everyone is lying to me, so therefore I must know the truth. It's like, people are wrong. Every single person, me included, is wrong about so many things. And a decade from now, I hope I can look back at myself now and kind of think how stupid I was, not in a disparaging way, but your ignorance should decrease with each passing year. But, your ignorance will remain. I mean, I think this is another thing we struggle as human beings in the modern era. Like we like to think, oh, AI is going to save us. How is AI going to save us? Oh, because all the information is online and AI is going to, like, dig through it and feed us the answer. Like, what we have on the internet is like 0.0000, like 1% of, like, what there is to know about ourselves, about other people, about science, about the world. Like, do we know 10, 100,000 times, a million times more than medieval peasants? Yeah, probably. But they also know some things that we didn't know. I mean, just like primitive people in the jungle can survive for 40, 50, 60 years in the jungle, whereas, like, you or me might be dead in a few weeks. Like, yeah, information on the internet is not knowledge. Like, it doesn't mean you understand anything. Yeah. But you can see that I need AI tool or a human tool or a village to help me tabulate and organize my thoughts. But in the meantime, I hope they were interesting to you. So thanks for watching.